All right, we are on lesson 3, decimals to percents and percents to decimals. That's going to be our objective today, is writing these decimals to percents and percents to decimals. We are on page 109. If you are not there, please get there. It should look something like this. Decimals and percent. It's got a whole bunch of classes at the top of it. That's our real world link we're going to start with. So again, first of all, our essential question, when is it better to use a fraction, decimal, or percent? And we are looking at our standard 6 RP3C. We are making decimals into percents and percents into decimals today. I think you're going to like this lesson once you get used to it. To me, this is the easiest part of decimals and percents. Doesn't take a lot of brain work as long as you remember one thing that I'm going to teach you here in just a little bit. All right, let's look at our school survey. It tells us the favorite subjects of students in Martin Middle School. And it gives us all these percentages. 28% love math. Of course, that's the highest because I'm a math teacher. Art is at 16%. Science is at 21%. English at 13%. Social studies at 15%. And the other classes are at 7%. All right, personally, I think this is false, but we'll go with it. All right, they want us to write the fraction with a denominator of 100 to represent the percent. So just like we did in the lesson 2, we're just writing these numbers over 100. Easy peasy. So math, we got 28%. It's just 28 over 100. Science, we've got 21%. It's 21 over 100. What do we have for art? Good. 16%. 16 over 100. Social studies. 15. 15 over 100. English, 13%, and our other is 7 out of 100. Write each fraction as a decimal. Well, let's think about that. We've got 28 hundredths. How would we write that? 28 hundredths. How would we write that? 0.28. How about art? 16 hundredths. Think about your place value. Probably want to put a 0 here. It just makes it clarify that you don't have any whole numbers. How about English? 13 hundredths. You're getting the hang of this pretty well. Science, 21 hundredths. Social studies, 15 hundredths. And other is 7 hundredths. Now, that one is a little bit tricky because you still have to keep it in the hundredths. So you got to put a 0 in there, or it won't be, otherwise it would be tenths. So really watch your place value on that one. Okay? So now let's compare these fractions, or let's compare the decimals to the percents. So we have 0.28, and up here, I gotta zoom out just a little bit. Oh, wrong way. All right, 0.28, 28%. 0.16, 16%. 0.13, 13%. 0.21, 21%. What do you notice there? Right, so the decimal, down here, moves 2 places to the left. The decimal moves 2 places to the left. All right, while you're finishing writing that, let's look at our mathematical practices. Well, I would say that we are using repeated reasoning and that we're making use of structure. And it's not much for mathematical tools. We didn't have to really multiply or add or anything. We're just simply writing numbers down. So I think that's about it. If you need to pause, please do so right now before we move on. I'm going to switch to page 110 and move on with the lesson. All right, writing percents as decimals. To write a percent as a decimal, divide by 100 and remove the percent sign. This is the same as moving the decimal 2 places to the left. Here is the best thing I'm ever going to teach you. I want you to think about when you were a kid, and when you were a little kid and you were like in kindergarten, and they had the alphabet above the chalkboard, right? And it would be like A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I know you're all singing. H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, so on and so forth, right? Alright. Your D is right here, right? And your P is way over here to the right. All you have to remember is D before P. D comes before P in the alphabet, right? So when you have a percent over here, so let's say we have 67%, you have a percent, P, and you want to go to a decimal, you got to move 2 places to the left, and it would be 0.67. If you have a decimal, let's say 0.53, and you want to make it 8%, and you go to the right in the alphabet, then you go to the right 2 places. It's always 2 places, and it would be 53%. So if you have a percent and you want to make it a decimal, it's always 2 places. Always, always, always. Go to the left 2. If you have a decimal and you want to make it a percent, go 2 to the right. Put a percent sign, you're done. Alright, I'll show you more of this as we go. Make sure you write this down, D before P. Okay? Very, very important. It's going to help you out. Alright, they give us these examples. Here's method 1. Write the percent as a fraction. Because you know that 56 over 100, 56 hundredths is written like this. So that's one way to do it. Or just move the decimal. This is the way I do it. D before P. If you have a percent, 1, 2 places to the decimal. Go to the left because decimal goes to the left in the alphabet. 0.56. Now, if you have something like this, it is, 8%, write your 8. 8 would be over here. Again, percent, you want to go to a decimal, 1, 2. Don't have anything there, what do you fill in with? 0. So this would be 0.08. Okay, 2%. You got a P all the way over here. You want to get to a D. 1, 2. Fill it in with a 0. Okay? Try these got it problems on your own. Please, no cheating. Just pause and try it. All I ever ask of you is that you try. I'm going to go over the answers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, we got a percent. We're making it into a decimal. D before P. D. Okay, so if it's a P, which is what we have, you gotta go to the left 2 places. 1, 2. So your answer, 0.32. 6%, you got a percent, go into a decimal, go to the left 2. 1, 2. Nothing there, fill it in with a 0. 0.06 would have been your answer. 93%, you got a P, you want to get to a D, 2 to the left. 1, 2, 0.93 would be your answer. So no brain power really required here. We're just simply moving decimal points today. Alright, easy peasy. If you're confused or stuck, or you don't understand how I got one of these answers, please stop, grab an instructor now, and ask them how in the world I got this answer, or back up and see if you can get it if you watch it a second time. Alright, let's go to 111. I got one little section left here. To write a decimal as a percent, multiply times 100 and add the percent sign. So again, this is just the same thing I already went over with you. They're telling you to multiply times 100. It's just moving the decimal twice to the right. That's all you got to do. Okay? So if we look at this example, again, they tell you that you can write it over 100 because we know that anything over 100 is that percent, right? 38 hundredths would be written like this, and we know that any number over 100 is that percent. So if you like that method, use it. Okay, again, 38 hundredths tells you right over 100. We did that back in like lesson 1. And any number over 100, that is your percent. Or move your decimal point. You got D before P. Now you got a decimal, so now you gotta go to the right 2 places. So loop it over twice, and you got 38, or 38%. Okay? Write 0.2 as a percent. 2 tenths. Tenths is not over 100. We gotta get this over 100. Again, so here, down here, they put 2 tenths and then they put 100 here, because that's our goal. 10 times 10 is 100. What you do on the bottom, do on the top. So you would end up with 20%. Otherwise, you got a decimal, you want to get to a percent, go to the right. 1, 2, add a 0, 20%. Alright, try these got it problems. See if you can do it on your own. Please no cheating. Pause. I'm going to go over the answers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, we got a decimal. We want to go D to P. So we're going to the right, always 2 places. 1, 2, 47%. You got a decimal here, over 2. 1, 2, 73%. 0.5, still gotta go 2. 1, 2, nothing there, fill it in. 50%. So your answers, D is 47%, E is 73%, F is 50%. If you have any questions on how I got these answers, please stop now, grab an instructor, and let them know you are confused and or lost. Alright, one more small problem to go over before I move on to the guided practice. The United States produces more corn than any other country, producing 0.4 of the total corn crops. Write it as a percent. So that's just a story problem. They give you a decimal, they want it as a percent. Move that bad boy over 2 places. 1, 2, fill in with a 0 because you got a blank space. 40% of the total crops is corn. Alright, let's take a pause. We're going to go on to our guided practice before turning you loose on independent practice. Make great choices. Make it a great day.